Assalamu alaikum, beautiful Cape Town, and hearty salams to all of you wherever you're tuning in from. I hope that your day started on a very happy note, and if not, hopefully this show is going to cheer you up, inshallah. I warmly welcome you to AM Inspirations on Voice of the Cape radio station, South Africa. You're tuning into Know Your Worth with me, your host, Amsal Rahim. This special segment is designed to explore the lives of unique, dynamic, and brilliant Muslim women to enlighten and inspire you. As we all know, it's Women's Month. Hence, this show is all about celebrating our wonderful Muslim women today. I am incredibly honored to have Sister Gul Makai Saleh on the show, alhamdulillah. Sister Gul Makai is a teacher, a writer, a mentor, and community leader based in Pennsylvania, United States. And so without further ado, let's welcome her on the show. Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you for having me on your show.
You're most welcome, sister. How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, great. And you?
I'm doing wonderfully well. The weather is amazing here at my end. And how is it at your end? How's the day today? Is it hot? What's it like?
It's good, manageable.
Alhamdulillah. All right, so Sister Gul Makai, for those tuning in who aren't familiar with you, would you like to talk a little bit about yourself and your background and the work you do?
Okay, sure. I'm originally from Afghanistan, but I was born and raised in the United States of America, which gave me the opportunity to learn and educate myself. Alhamdulillah. And, with so much going on, I like to learn, and I also like to help others with my knowledge. I'm a teacher, and I'm also a student. I study at Islamic Online University. I like to inspire and motivate the young children because I believe they're the torchbearer of the future, and raising them well and inspiring them to do good is, what I want to accomplish in my life, and I hope I do that.
Mm-hmm. We need more people with similar inspiration, subhanAllah. So you talked about how you want to inspire young children. How exactly are you going about doing that?
Well, I do give talks, and, there's a blog I have, Youth Under the Shade, YouTube videos. I try to connect to them where they are, on the social media. And so I also start writing books. So I've done a few things that I try my best to connect to them, go where they are, and try to inspire them with whatever knowledge I have and motivate them to do something for themselves and for the community.
Mm-hmm. As a means of encouragement for them to follow their own dreams. So tell me something, Sister Gul Makai, these young children that you're referring to, that you address and give talks to, what is the age group that you deal with?
Usually I've taught all ages, but mostly it's between the age of 8 to 18, in between those ages.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you don't obviously address all of them together, right? This is just the age bracket that you deal with.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about what are the topics that you cover, and what, from your observation as a teacher and as a leader, as a mentor of these kids, what do you feel are the topics that need to be addressed with these young kids and adolescents?
One thing I focus on are their emotions. Some children, they don't know how to manage their emotions, and if they don't understand their emotions, they might make wrong decisions in life. Mm-hmm. So I've done emotional intelligence. I've taught a class on that. Also, a lot of people want to become heroes and do a lot for the community, but they forget to improve their own selves or help their family. So I've done talks on that too, where, you start with yourself, and how do you improve yourself first? Then how do you help your family? Family is always neglected during these times that, either it's, ourselves or it's other people. But the family is something put in the back burner these days. So but I'm trying to make the kids realize that, helping your family is a community job too. You don't want to leave your family to someone else to take care of when you're there.
Mm-hmm. That's really amazing, because when you're growing up and you have role models like yourself, it really does leave a very lasting imprint on a person's life, So tell me a little bit about how exactly you go about dealing with these children. Do you give Do you have like a one-to-one relationship with them? Do you also do counseling?
I've done some counseling with some children. Like besides the talks I give, I've started doing workshops based on my books. My latest book, which is not out in print yet, Princess Diversity, and with the Golden Rule. Both of my books are based on the Golden Rule, which is to treat people as you want to be treated. So I give talks based on the, I have started workshops based on these two books, and the main goal is to teach a child how to treat people, and that, you treat them the way you want to be treated. So that's my main goal. And I don't believe it's also only the children we need to help. I think it's a package of helping the parents too. So the other thing I do is called Circle of Parents, where I have monthly meetings with parents, and we sit in a circle, we discuss different topics on how to deal with our children, how to raise them, what issues we have. Just like, these times are hard for the children. They're going through so much, and there's so much out there now. Like the fitna is so much for them. Just for the parents, it's hard for them. It's like, like in these 10 years, so many things happen, and the parents, they don't know how to manage, how to cope with all these different technologies, different issues arising. So as a parent myself, it's a struggle, but we need that community help and support to help each other and give that advice. So I don't believe it's just the children we need to focus on, it's also the parents.
I agree, and one can absolutely not stress enough about the importance of fostering a healthy relationship between a child and a parent. I feel like most of the issues that the youth go through stem from not having a very good, stable relationship with their parents, because when you have parents you can trust and go to, and you take them as your friends, you can just go and share anything that you're going through with them, and that could help one, channelize a problem better. So what do you think is one of the biggest hindrances in a healthy child and parent relationship, since you're dealing with both ends, both spectrums?
I believe it's a couple of things, but one thing is in today's age, we don't, the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child, where a lot of the Muslims come from, we live in a community, not individual life. And we have that community to help us raise our child. But when you come to the West, it's different. Here you're on your own as a mother, as a father. Some parents are single parents, and they're struggling to pay bills. Here, living in the West, again, compared to living in the East, it's different. There you could live a simple life. Here you can't. You have to struggle. You have to pay bills. You have to give things to your child that your child would not request when they're living in the East. So one is that we don't have that community. We don't have that community to help us raise our children. We don't have our grandparents. We don't have our aunts, our uncles, our cousins, even our neighbors. We don't have that community support. The other thing is, like I said, in the past 10, 15 years, so much happened that the parents, they don't know how to absorb everything and how to understand it. Like, for example, my son, when he was 15, the phone just came in, and he was asking for it. He said, I need it for important reason. And, me, this is the first time my oldest son, I don't know, should I get him a phone? Should I not get him a phone? I don't know the pros and cons of it. So, as a parent, we, like all these things are coming in. It's, we're going through the experiment phase, and we don't know how to deal with it. Hopefully it gets better, and so many changes don't happen for us parents to to deal with all these issues. Yes, the best thing to do is that we need to communicate with our child and set the best example for our children, because they see more than what they hear. Like with my parents, they didn't talk to me a lot, but their action really impacted me. My father, activism, and he was against war. So he would take me to protests because I'm from Afghanistan, so there's a war between Russia and Afghanistan. He would take me there, and he would rally for peace, and to stop that. And he didn't tell me, but it affected me in some way. And my mom too, she was always out there helping her family, her neighbors. When they were sick, she would always go there. So like, she wouldn't instruct me to go, take care of the elders or do this or that. But her action impacted me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the most beautiful thing is that they exhibited those qualities, they demonstrated for you, you know. And as the saying goes, you know, actions speak louder than words. It's true. So you know how people say that you cannot help other people and empower other people until unless you're able to effectively help yourself. So all this work that you're doing right now, trying to help kids and trying to help parents and all this community work, how did it all start? When did you realize that, you know what, I need to empower young kids, I need to, you know, empower parents and how to deal with their kids? How did all of this start?
Well, I myself am I always have my own way of thinking, always my way of doing things. Even as a child, that comes from me being an introvert. I like to do things my way. Every time, you know, I always want, as a child, I was affected a lot because I was bullied in school, and I would see other kids being bullied too. And, you know, I saw there was no one really standing up for me, not even my teachers. So, you know, when I grew up, I became a teacher. You know, I remember what was happening to me as a child, and I said, no, I can't do this to my students. I can't do this to the community. I have to, if there's a need and am I able to provide, I should do it. I should give what I can, but at the same time balance my own life, my personal life, and not forget my own kids. You know, most of the times we become heroes to the world, but we neglect our own children, and in that way our children becomes those type of people that, you know, the world don't want. So you know, I want to do more, but I know there's this where I need to make sure it's stable and not destroy the balance of my fat personal life and giving to the community.
That's beautiful. And I especially love how you know, took something negative, a negative experience, and channelized it in a meaningful and productive way by, you know, becoming a teacher yourself, mashallah. So everything that you endured when you were younger actually happened for the best, because if it hadn't been for that, you wouldn't, you know, be benefiting people today the way you are today. So let's talk a little bit about your book now, Princess Diversity. Such a unique name. Very interesting. So what is Princess Diversity all about?
Princess Diversity started because of everything that's going on, you know, the hate, the racism, the wars, the killing. So, you know, every time you turn on a channel, you see this hate spewing. And I know changing adults' mindset is hard. So I was like, you know, I was thinking about ways to help the children. I said, you know, they're young, they're pure, their minds are all, you know, they're innocent. You know, if we nurture that love for humanity in them at a young age, and you'll see the next generation, they'll grow up loving humanity. You know, there'll be less wars, less conflicts, less hate going on. So, you know, with Princess Diversity, the idea came through me seeing a picture of Aborigines from Australia, which they had blonde hair and dark skin. And, you know, if you just look at it, you could tell that, you know, humanity, we all come from one family, one parents, and it's just that over time we spread out through the world, and we accustomed to wherever country we lived, and we changed, but still we are the same people. You know, we still have love and affection. We have families. We do the same thing. I don't know why people continue to hate in our times. I mean, so much. We're so much advanced in life, and people still wants to hate and kill and do injustice. It's sad. So that inspired me to, you know, do something for the youth. I said the young people, they could, through this book, start loving and appreciating humanity.
I think that's amazing. A very effective way of combating hate and division, you know. Wonderful. So, Sister Guamakai, let's talk a little bit about your inspirations and your role models. Who is it that you look up to?
Well, of course, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you see his life, you know, we always say that, you know, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went through so much, and his struggles, and you know, if we look at him in today's world, a child in today's world, we'll say he'll be the most corrupt child because he went through so much hardship during his childhood. But actually, he became such a positive and motivated person when he became an adult. Those struggles during his childhood brought him up to be such a great man. And, when I look at him, I say, he's the man. He's the one I need to follow because, I went through struggles. He went through struggles. He became someone good. I want to do the same thing. And I inspire the children too, yes, you might have a broken family. You might have, your father might not be there, your mom might not be there. Something might be wrong in the family. But look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Look how he lived. He didn't have no parents. He grew up poor. He went through a lot. So why can't we learn that from him and see how he became a great leader for the community, for the world? Subhanallah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's very thought-provoking because anytime a struggle befalls us, we tend to become very embittered, very cynical, and we become resentful just about life in general. But if we took inspiration from the life of Rasulullah, we'd definitely be a lot more positive, a lot more optimistic about, how we look at the world in our personal situation. So it's been wonderful talking to you, Sister Gul Makai, just as we're nearing the end of this show. As I mentioned before, it's Women's Month in South Africa on our radio station. Do you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to impart to the sisters listening?
Sure. We all have skills and talents that Allah has blessed us with. And, a lot of people, it's sad that they have the skill sets and they will not use it. But it's, that's a gift Allah has given you. And as Muslims, we need to share that gift to the best of our ability. If we have that skill set, why not give it to the community and offer it to others who, it'll make a big difference in people's lives. It's sad, like I said, when people do have a skill set and they just neglect it and not do anything with it. Hopefully, if the women out there could balance their life and do whatever they can for the benefit of the world and benefit of humanity, a lot of things will happen because it's the woman who, she's the mother of the future generation and she can make that difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. And I just want to end on this note that, as women, we become very complacent. We become, content with whatever little it is that we're doing, especially after women get married and have kids. They say, oh, there isn't much I could do. But I guess this is just a plea to the women listening, inshallah, that make use of your skill set because you're unique and Allah SWT has gifted you with a talent that perhaps others haven't been given. So inshallah, maximize your time and maximize your talent and inshallah, plow it in meaningful endeavors, inshallah. So, Jazakallah khairan, Sister Gul Makai. It's been wonderful speaking to you on this show and I hope everybody who listened benefited, inshallah. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Jazakallah khairan.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.